Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Oh, thanks, Yago. Although always keep in mind, it's every time it's better to use photos than like screenshots or something of real people, because style is nice, but style is technically a mistake. You know, it's not as accurate as the real thing is. Never, you know. So always keep in mind, while it's nice to use something as an inspiration, don't over rely on it. Always make the effort to go back to the actual material. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see. Okay, material still needs need much. Mm. Okay, light. So, okay, now light background boom, light Oh, there we go. Okay, material. Let's do a little bit more scale. PPR. This will do for now. No, not plastic. I need this color fill object. I wonder. Render. Fast. big problem with this one is gonna be figuring out what expression am I even going after. Because I don't want to just do yet another smile. I've sculpted, Lord knows, too many of those. I could go instead of like just a happy smile, I could go with like something like a condescending like smirk or something like that, because she does have the personality for those. What the fuck? Excuse me. When did I? File save. Material. Let us reduce subsurface a little bit. Material. Okay, now light. Let's try and increase the intensity of. No, material, wrong one. Light. Which one am I on? Oh, it is the back one. Okay. Yeah, I kind of just want to have some placeholder eyelashes just because of the shadow casting. It makes it easier to see if I'm going where I want to go with it. Mind you, these kinds of eyelashes are not printable. However, there are multiple solutions for eyelashes on a character. Either you just paint them on, or you have a more simplified sort of cartoony approach to eyelashes, or if it's a large enough print, you can just kind of glue on fake eyelashes. Okay, so mm. Oh boy. Mm, mm. All right, this is starting to look like something. I love it when I leave the just blatantly like the weird stage of it and go into the stage where it's like, you know, in the neighborhood of where I want it to be. And then it's like, okay, we can now work with this. All right, let's see. I need a not a cylinder. I need a cube. There we go. Okay. Make polymesh. Okay, move, scale. This. Draw. Geometry. Dynamesh this a little bit so that I have some. Alright, let's do the. Let's give it a bit of a wonk from every possible side, just as a baseline. There we go, like this. Then let's give it a little bit of a clay polish. Okay, now clay polish again. Alright, it's got a bit of a thing going on now. Back to this. Append. Okay. Let's rotate. Duplicate. Mm, mm, mm. Pam, 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 pada, pam, pam. I've been on Twitch for years. I've been on Twitch, I've been on YouTube. I'm just kind of, just kind of vibing, doing my own shit. Right now, I am kind of having some fun. Um, just doing a woodborne bust from like just a sphere, cause been spending too much time just kind of working from base meshes, and it's very nice to kind of just, mess around with a sphere and just start from scratch of a scratch. But yeah, that usually brings in the issues of topology when you're fine tuning, and that's literally the only reason why I swapped to base mesh, because those tend to be a pain in the ass at some point. But fuck it, I'm committed to this one. What's the end? Oh, thank you. There's gonna be plenty more of it. Because, Jesus Christ, there's 9 volumes, so, no, sorry, there's 7 volumes of fine print, there are 20 volumes of Sunstone, just, that's not even counting the rest of the stuff like Queen and the Woodborn and, what's it called, Death Vigil. Well, we'll see how that one does, because, I fucking swear that book is cursed. But thankfully at least Sunstone and fine print are doing very solidly. Can I say my name? No. Live in mystery. What? Yeah, exactly. It's like Beetlejuice. I can't say my own name. It's against the rules. It's just a book that doesn't find an audience until it's completely failed, and then later people just go like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Why, why is there not more?" And I'm like, because everybody on the internet is too busy bitching about the stuff they don't like. Nobody fucking says anything about the stuff they do like, so it's like, yeah, books die. But we'll see. I got a second book coming out literally fucking carried by Sunstone and fine print, so who knows? Maybe this time. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but you know. You know, you're not wrong. It's pronounced how it's written, except, you know, that only works in Slavic languages that are written in that specific way and read in that specific way. So it's a whole lot of asterisks to that one. It's technically not wrong. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Except the problem is, every literal letter is read differently in Slavic languages than it is like in American. So weird. At some point, such drastically different decisions were made on how letters should be written and read. It's just. Hmm. Yeah, we'll see. Because here's the thing with sales numbers. They vary day to day, and basically there's a bunch of things that a book needs to be successful. First of all, it needs to be a good book that will get the audience. That's step one. Step two, that's the fucking hard one. The audience has to be vocal about liking it, and today on the internet you don't go vocal about liking something. The only thing that people are very loud about is, pitching about things. Let's be real. Cynicism has been the currency of the internet for a while now, and it's showing no signs of stopping. So what happens is, generally, a book doesn't find its second wave of market. It doesn't find expanding audience, and it fails. Because it's entertainment business is a fucking job of, you know, jingling keys and getting people to actually pay attention to a thing long enough. And if there is no buzz post-release, a thing sinks. Hell, fucking Sunstone right now is not doing all that well. It's better than it's ever been, but it doesn't matter, you know, because just the buzz isn't there. And no, thankfully, fine print is cooking. Fine print is literally carried by nothing but word of mouth at this point, because Lord knows comic sites have completely missed the existence of the very book, and I'm still fucking selling it like crazy, so can't complain. But you know, it is one of those things where it's like just the sheer jadedness and cynicism of people today is just it's exhausting at times, you know. I was like, that's the fucked up thing, is like, I don't have shit to read anymore because nobody fucking talks about anything, yeah. Everybody's like, oh, hey, here's a new thing. Oh, I hate it because. I was like, well, cool. Is there anything you like? That'd be nice. It's been a long time pet peeve of mine. And like the worst part is like I know the mindset it comes from. You know, I've had a cynical phase back in the early days, like back in the old days when, like, you know, you had when there was like this big boom of hate reviewers, of like, you know, not hate reviewers, like the angry reviewers, you know, it's like you're angry video game nerd, you're fucking what's his name, nostalgia critic, shit like that, like where it got really popular to just kind of, you know, bitch about stuff. And like, you know, you kind of got hooked on the energy of it all. But like at some point I realized that I stopped enjoying things. And that was a bad fucking thing. And then, you know, I had to make a conscious effort to kind of stop that and reconnect with that sense of wonder that I used to have. And it took a while for it to kick back in. And that's how I learned that cynicism is a fucking dangerous thing to play with. Because sooner or later you find yourself just being completely poisoned by it. Ever read Saga? Yeah. I'm not up to date with it, but I do read Saga. Saga is a really good comic. I've never done Marvel. I've done like some small cover gigs, but that's about it. I was never big on Marvel, so like generally when I did like work for hire, it was either like Top Cow stuff or like, you know, just kind of Dynamite, or when I felt like, you know, doing some DC stuff. Like when I felt like doing superheroes, I would go with DC stuff because I always preferred the universe. It was cooler, edgier. File, save. I'm going to now do a thing. What's it called? Which one is it? Lightbox, recent. That's gonna be Eureka project. Okay. I'm gonna just take the wings off Eureka and just modify them for now. I'll do them proper later. I just want some placeholders. Lightbox, load tool. No, load tools from project. That's the one. This one, yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Wow, I love it when you just import it and ZBrush goes like, I'm just gonna randomly place just the most random ass materials onto everything. Thanks, ZBrush. You nailed it. Alright, let's go. I need this. and a wing. Ooh. No, that's some, okay, that's some scaling issues, alright. Scale. Yeah, and like, I don't even blame people for being like that, because like, I was there. Like, I know, I understand how much it fucks with your brain chemistry to get fucking wallowed in that shit. And you just stop enjoying everything. I've like I said, been there myself. So that's the fucked up part. Is like, you just kind of drown in it. And yeah, I still remember one day, like I'm like, there was a movie coming out like that I should have liked, and just nothing. Like I'm like, ugh. I'm like fucking rolling my eyes and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? At some point, I'm like, the fuck am I doing? What is wrong with me? Like genuinely, like I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the movie, and I hate it. And at that point, I realized, oh dear, I need help. And then once I got rid of that, I had a whole lot of movies and shows to rewatch and realized, oh, this was a bigger problem than I thought it was. Because all of a sudden I found myself liking a whole lot of things that I just really fucking instantly dismissed back then for a while. So yeah, I don't know what is it about internet, but it fucking wakes up the worst in people. Sure, there's exceptions, of course, but goddamn. Geometry, modify topology, geometry. Where is it? Mirror World. Mirror World. All right. Look at her. Beautiful. I gotta paint these. All right. Let's see. First this, then this. Okay. Subtool. MRGB color fill object. Now, I need to do that. I'm gonna need to do material. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna reduce metalness. Material. I'm gonna definitely reduce. There is no cone. Sheen. There's no weight. Okay. So I need subsurface scattering. Okay. Now this material. I'm gonna add it. Some of this and some of this. Okay. Now, standard. There is no this standard brush here. RGB. I'm gonna give it. Okay, yeah, RGB. Transform, activate symmetry, yeah, that's the one. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Well, I mean, my usual rule about writing characters is step one: everybody is a fuck up. It does wonders for writing people because we're all fuck ups, and in stories, people tend to kind of, you know, get very obsessive about like the power fantasy of it all, or this fantasy or that fantasy. They forget that one age-old rule of humanity, and that's why characters stop feeling like humans. Is well, they're just too perfect, too good, too like they never say the wrong thing or do the actual wrong thing. And like I've noticed that people have kind of forgotten that that's even an option because like at times I very often very intentionally make my characters say the wrong thing and do the wrong thing, make mistakes that then they have a payoff later, right? And like I'd write the characters do a mistake and just immediately in the comments, that's actually wrong. I'm like, I know, but then why did you write it? Because my character doesn't know. Like, you know, you kind of. It's an age old art of writing that kind of people have forgotten about. It's okay for you to write a character that doesn't know. Yeah, it's like like it's so funny. Like they were like, I was doing a thing where there's a story and there's like a payoff in the Crimson After Hours, and like immediately, like there were people who picked up on it and just straight up asked me like, "Are you going somewhere?" I said, I'm going somewhere with this. Well, there were other people who were like immediately like, you shouldn't do that because, and I'm like, I know. Or like, uh, one of the more often spoken things about Sunstone, right? It's like, oh, it's such a great representation of BDSM, and I'm like, every time I make a point whenever people say to me, I'm like, no, it's not yet. It will be over time because right now you're seeing BDSM depicted through this prism of like a few indoorsy dumbasses who are into a very specific aesthetic, a very specific approach to it, and a very specific way of handling it. But as the story progresses, you will meet people with vastly different ideas about it, and then it's gonna be, then it's going to be something more akin to a representation. And still, to this day, you always get people going like, well, this is wrong. I'm like, I know. Or like when Alan pulls out a freaking retractable scalpel blade, right, to cut the rope, so people are like, "Oh my God, you shouldn't use that." I know. It's like, or then later on they move to regular scissors. Those scissors aren't the best thing you should be using. I know. It's like, yeah, which part of they're learning the process one fuck up at a time? Wasn't I clear about? But yeah, like that's basically what makes characters worth reading about. Like, because it doesn't matter whether or not the writer knows. You're there for the characters. You're there to follow their story, And in a well-written story, you're gonna see them fail. In fact, most successes in life were built one failure at a time, and that's something that I happen to love to write about. Just kind of people fucking up their way one upwards. It's like, yeah, you make the mistake, you learn from it, you go on. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. It's not that the most representation of media, of BDSM in media was 50 Shades. It's just that one got popular. There's a fuck ton of books and about about freaking BDSM that are way better than 50 Shades of Grey. But to this day, I will always say I've nothing against 50 Shades of Grey. It's escapist fiction. I don't blame the writer for making a smutty novel, and then people decided that that was going to be their point of reference about a thing. It's like learning about science from Star Trek. You know, it's like, yeah, there are things that are kind of based in science there, but at the end of the day, maybe pick up an encyclopedia. You know, there's better terms. Like back in, I don't know, maybe it's just I'm old, but back in my day, you know, when we needed to learn about a thing, we didn't go to fiction. I didn't learn about, you know, maps of the world, maps of Earth by reading Lord of the Rings. It's just, you know, we had enough sense for to distinguish something that's escapist fiction. You know, it's like it's so I always found the whole thing silly. Really, it was like, yeah, it's a bad representation of BDSM. You really think she was going for a representation of BDSM in her story where a nothing reporter ends up with a billionaire with weird fetishes? Just it's just, come on, like this is it's escapism, for fuck's sakes. It's the fast food for the mind. Like, relax. Right? Crazy. Yeah, it got, like, that's the thing, is like, it got popular, but again, it's one of those things where it's like people blamed her for this and that and the other, for the writer. I'm like, she didn't make it popular. She just wrote the fucking thing. It's at best a very kind of mid smutty romance novel. Like, I've read a lot of them. I kind of couldn't finish this one. I tried. Linda and I listened to the audiobook version, and like, for the first 2 or so hours, we were at least entertained by the repetition of the whole "oh my" thing, and so we could just kind of, what? Yeah, but for a while, like, for a short while, we kind of had our little, hey, we're gonna do the George Takei "oh my" joke. But like 2 hours later, we both got a headache from it. Yeah, it was not yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I don't blame the book for anything, or the author. It's like, it's escapist smutty fiction. What were you expecting from it? It's like, come on. I've seen people often talk about stuff like, media literacy and all that, but it's like, step one in media literacy, just fucking understand what you're reading. It's like, do you really think, this thing is something where you're supposed to truly commit to fucking, you know, taking this shit seriously? It's like, I don't think so. Like, you can enjoy the depth of something without necessarily taking it into, like, well, in reality. It's like, well, it's not reality. This is a silly piece of fiction. Would I say that ZBrush still has advantages over Blender sculpting? I've never tried Blender sculpting, so I wouldn't really know how to answer that one. ZBrush was from the get-go built to be a high polygon modeling tool, so it's got its perks and it's got its advantages. But for me, it's just a matter of simple familiarity. Like, would I love to know Blender sculpting and Blender in general? Fuck yeah, just imagine what I could do with that renderer. Holy shit. But, you know, I got ZBrush, I got my Redshift in it. It's fine. It does the job for what I needed to do, you know. My end game with this is I make, you know, printable statues, and then Henke here will just slice them, dice them, prep them, print them, and there we go. Ta-da, you know. I got a bust on my shelf, you know. But beyond that, like I said, I've seen people do amazing stuff with Blender sculpting tools, so it's just, yeah, nothing really that I can say against it. And plus, like I said, you get the benefits of the wide range of tools that Blender offers. Hell, you know, in Blender, if you want to, you can actually animate it. You can't do that here. Yeah, a lot of readers that don't know a lot will still learn from those sources. Fortunately, you're right. Yeah, that's like I said. That's one of those media literacy things. Like you gotta understand what you're engaging with. You know, at the end of the day, there's you know, there is a matter of just what we would refer to as common sense. It's just, you know, you kind of have to question yourself on, you know, whether or not this is something that's meant to be a learning material, you know. I'm not here to learn history of Maine from Stephen King's books, you know. It's like and this is where Bob Gray, also known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, first appears in the state of you know, Jesus. Come on. Yeah, I mean, when I say industry thing, like I mean like it's very very finely tuned to do poly sculpting, you know. Uh, but like most of that stuff at this point has kind of become a moot point. For actual like printable statues, ZBrush is still gonna be probably the best one because it can produce the highest number of raw polygons and then decimate that, and like you are still going to get like the most refined detailing in a printing. But for everything else, video games, animation, anything else, like Blender is gonna fucking blow it out of the water, because with Blender you get unwrapping tools that are better than ZBrush. You get rigging, you get animation, you get the ability to combine it with like paint texturing tools, with smart materials, with all that shit. And at that point, like, you know, it's a whole different universe. Like ZBrush is an industry standard, but it's an industry standard that is slowly but surely gonna get outdated and, like, you know, just kind of lose the race against the time, you know, the times. So I'm still gonna keep using it because, like, I got 6 comic series and a novel to write. I don't have the time to learn Blender at the same time as everything else because, like, it's just too much stuff. Am I aware of the artist Sabo? I think so. Just a second. I think if that's the person that you're referring to. On Twitter, I think we follow each other. If that's the person. Oh no, yeah, I don't follow them, but I've seen their stuff. Oh, they do follow me. Holy shit, I didn't even know. Because I know I've seen stuff on the front page of what's it called, Pixiv. Alright, I think this is gonna be okay for now. I'm gonna have to make the per ponytail. I have to then make like the edge of the dress, sculpt the shoulder, the hand here. Maybe even like have a hand like, and then because I have this weird idea where I'm gonna do a like framing here with a base, so the frame is gonna be made from like animal bones and like fall leaves and stuff like that, and then it's gonna be ice, and then it's gonna go into flowers, like kind of like a cycle of seasons, because she's a goddess of death and ice, so it makes sense. She had this thing with a goddess of spring anyway, so death gods and spring gods be like exactly. Okay, so let's say just for a frame of reference, append. Let's go with a cylinder, and let's rotate, scale and rotate the thing. So framing wise, it would be like this, and then I would just kind of maybe do a thing where append cylinder, okay. Merge draw, merge color, fill object, move. So scatter. So let's say something like this. Arm will be down here, like this. Rotate, and then duplicate, and then oh yeah, I've been doing 3D for like 20 plus years now. Like it's a hobby, like it's not something that I do as my main thing, but it's a very useful skill set to have, because it enables you to do some very quick, very good basically anatomy training and stuff like that, because yeah, if you sculpt a thing, it gives you way more. You have to pay attention to way more things than just by drawing it, because sculpting is like drawing from every conceivable angle, and that's just awesome. All right, so duplicate, zoom, move. God, it's been looking like a taxidermy trophy. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have like there's gonna be like these elements around it that are gonna be like ooh, like old, like ooh, witchy and stuff. Again, this is one of those things that I really wanted to kind of get back into because usually I have like a pretty decently topologized base mesh that I usually use when I'm sculpting because I like that it has a good topology so that I don't have to mess with that or retopologizing because I love sculpting. I hate the technicalities of it all. So it's like, unwrapping, topology, gonna vomit. But sculpting itself, is the good stuff. It's the fun. It's the tasty. What's up? What do you want? Okay. What? Ye- Well, I mean, it looks so much easier than Blender because it probably is easier than Blender because again, way less options. This is merely a sculpting software, nothing more, nothing less. So on that level, like it makes sense that it would look easier because it serves a singular, a very focused purpose. Duplicate. Kate. Come on, what are you doing? Come on, select it. What are you... Oh, Jesus Christ, piece of shit. Okay, what is wrong with you? ZBrush nonsense, I fucking swear. Which one? What is it? Great program, but it's got its quirks. I still have to figure out what I'm gonna do with her facial expression. That's why she's still kept in full, what's it called, symmetry. Okay, let's go and merge down. Merge down, merge down, merge down. Rotate, zoom. like a test for now, and I think that's gonna be it for today. Because I gotta go and gotta post my fine print update. I gotta get to Crimson After Hours. I gotta got a cover to also draw. It's gonna be a busy day. Okay, let's see. Document height. We gotta go to 2000. Let's see. Resize. Yes. Control M. Zoom. Edit. BPR. What? Why rendering it again? Weird. Document export. This desktop. Okay, now let's do a side. Export. And there we go. Okay. Alright, this will do for now. File save. And on that note, thank you all for being here today. I am off.